Hey, I'm John with Bravo Company Digital, where we help home services companies fill their pipeline with qualified leads. Let's get into it. Cold email versus cold calling. Which strategy delivers better B2B results? Different ways to think about it. For this situation, let's say our goal, use this fancy Miro board. Let's say goal is 8 appointments per month. Okay. Let's make that bigger so you can see it. We're going to try to do this in real time, see how it goes. Okay. So know that, hey, that's our goal. First thing we got to do is what is the technology we're going to use for cold email, and what is the technology we're going to use for cold calling. Okay. Cold email, cold calling. Good to go. It's not let it. There's the center. Okay. So what is the technology for cold email? You basically have two options in this space. You have Smart Lead or Instantly. We use Smart Lead. Let's say this is roughly $99 per month. Okay. Then what about for cold calling? What phone system should you use? There's a bunch of them out there. They all stink. We've used Open Phone. We've used Ready Mode. We've used Just Call. We've used Cloud Talk. Let's say Cloud Talk. And let's say that's also going to be right about $100 a month. Okay. So that's the technology piece is pretty easy. But then with Smart Lead, you also have to go, you're going to have to get, here, let's do it like this. Okay. Let's call this tech. And then let's go. You're going to need Smart Lead. You're going to need domains for something like that will work into it. And then you're also going to need inboxes. And I'll show you how I would do the math on that. Okay. So it's going to be inboxes. It's going to be a little more there. Okay. Well, let's just do that math. So how would I do the math? Okay. Let's say we need 8 appointments. Okay. So if we need 8 appointments, let's say we're going to be something around 2,000 sends per appointment. Make this big and then make it smaller after. Okay. 2,000 sends per appointment. Is that as big? That's as big as we can make it. Okay. 2,000 sends per, 2,000 sends per appointment. There we go. Okay. So that means we need 16K sends. That means, let's say we can send, right now people are going somewhere between 0 and 50 sends per inbox. Let's call it 25 sends per, or actually let's go 16,000 sends. Let's say we're going to send business days. Let's say there's 20 business days in the month. So 20 divided by 16,000, or I'm sorry, 16,000 divided by 20 days is 800 sends per day. And let's say we go 25 sends per inbox. That gives us 32 inboxes. And then if we divide that by 3, or let's divide it by 2. 32 divided by 2 is we need, 32 inboxes, 16 domains. Okay. So what is all this math? That means we don't want too many inboxes. on domains. So we're going to go 2 domains per inbox. We want to make sure we don't send too many emails per inbox. So let's go 16 domains at $20 per year, 32 inboxes. I think those are $8 a month. So let's go 8 times 32. 8 times 32 is something like $256 per month. Okay, yeah, $20 per year times 16 actually. We can amortize that for the year and call it roughly $26 per year. Good to go. Let's add those together, and we have 26 plus 254 equals 281. Okay, so make this smaller. Just want to make sure you understand that math. And we'll go domains plus domains and inboxes are going to be 280. Those are both per month. Okay. So you got that good to go. And you go, okay. Then let's go for Cloud Talk. We know we're going to be able to make something like, we can work through our math here. If we want 8, we're going to be something like 500 calls per appointment. So something like that. Okay. So that means we need, what do we need? 4,000 calls per month. Okay. 2 a week, 4,000 calls per month. Good to go. We're likely, that is 1 full-time caller, depending on where you get this person. Let's call it, somewhere between 500 and 2,500, depending on kind of what you want to do. Okay. For this example, let's call it $1,000. Okay. So let's see. Caller is $1,000. Boom. So there you go. Okay. Now we talk about our list. Okay. So then we go, what about your list here? Okay. So the thing about this is, if you're going to make 4,000 calls a month, you need a list of, if you do it once a month, right? Let's just call it 4K, right? Good to go. But for this one, what do we say? We're going to send 16,000, right? So you need a list of 16,000 per month. Okay. And this isn't saying, hey, what if the list goes bad? There's variables there. Okay. But then you got to look at, okay, how do you get a list of 16,000? If you're paying 10 cents a lead, right, that is $1,600. If you're paying 10 cents a lead here, that's $400. If you're going to use something like, we like Google Maps Extractor. I think it's like $100 a month for a ton of leads. Okay, so something like $100 is what I would recommend. You could use Apollo or Zoom Info or something like that, but for 16,000 leads, that's a high volume of leads. The only way I would want to spend that much on those leads is if I could get this 2,000 emails per appointment down to 1,000. A lot of people say 1,000 emails per appointment. You can do that, but you got to have a good list and a good offer to be able to do that. Okay. So, hey, now we can contact people. Okay. Let's say this is going to be, let's call this $100 for each of them. So let's go, hey, what's our total cost here? Total cost is, Let's make that $100 and let's call it 480. Okay. Okay. And then we go, our cost here, okay, is, let's call this 1,200. Okay. So then you go, okay, how much per lead? Okay. If we got 8 leads here, it is 480 divided by 8 is $60. Okay. What about here? If we go 1,200 divided by 8 equals 150. Let's go. Cost per lead, right? 60 and 150. So what's the answer here? Hey, the answer here is do cold email, right? Well, there's a couple things to think about. Okay. Here's what, right? So you go, hey, let's cross this out, right? Encircle cold calling. Why do I like cold calling better? I just realized now as well that that says cold, not cold calling. Okay. Let's talk about with cold email. What we find is the success really goes up and down. Okay. So sometimes it's great. Sometimes it's terrible. With cold calling, we're very stable. Okay. Very stable. The thing about cold email is there's usually a ramp up time, and it kind of goes like this. And then you start getting this. With cold calling, right from day 0, you can usually start getting results. I think some people, this list of 16K, it depends what you're going for, but if you're a commercial cleaning company working in a small market, do you have 16,000 potential customers? Maybe, right? But your list size here is going to be much more important as well. The other thing is the technology or the technical aspect of cold email is a challenge. It is a constant cat and mouse game where you can use Smart Lead, you can use domains, you can use inboxes, but if you aren't constantly maintaining your systems, it's not going to work. It is, I said you need $1,000 a month cold caller here. You don't need a full-time person watching this, but there's hours there, right? There's a lot of time you have to put watching your inbox, okay? So cold email versus cold calling, which strategy delivers better B2B results, okay? I would say if you have more time than money and you want to do it yourself, I like cold email. I think it can be good. Depending on what you're trying to sell, I think cold email can be really good. If you have a little bit more money than you do time, I would say cold calling. I would say get a cold caller to do it for you and work the phone system hard because most people, this $150 cost per lead or cost per appointment is gonna be super strong. Okay, scaling, cold email can scale, but if you're already at 16K, can you scale? If you're a home services business, it could probably scale too much, or where you're not going to have the leads to do it. Where scaling cold calling, sure, it's hard. You need to get more cold callers, but you can do it. Technology, much simpler with cold calling. Let's see, anything else that I think should be important. We like both. We like supplementing both, but ultimately cold calling is our bread and butter. We started as a cold email agency, and when all the results started going up and down, we threw cold email on the side and focused on cold calling, and now we prefer cold calling. So cold email versus cold calling, which strategy delivers better B2B results? I'm taking cold calling all day. I think you can do it by yourself before you hire a caller. It's going to work. It's going to be much less disrupted by technology. I'm not saying it's not going to be disrupted, but it's going to be much less disrupted. So when in doubt, I would I would usually probably vote cold calling. Go to bravocompanydigital.com if you want to talk about how we can work together. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.